Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great day today. Man, this morning, this market was crazy. And that's why I'm saying this market is fractured. You've heard me use this term before, especially if you're in the community. You've heard me say that the market is fractured. And I'm going to try to explain to you what I mean here in a bit. But this morning, we had a lot of volume, a lot of volatility, and the market was going up, and these solid stocks were going down, and it made absolutely no sense. And then all of a sudden, after 10:30 or so, the plug got pulled, and you still have volume, but we didn't have the moves that we really needed to make money off of. It just felt weird, and things just feel, out of sync. And all I can say is, what I do every day is I look at the market, I look at what it did overnight, I look at where we are now, and I try to get a game plan together. But basically, it's just waiting and letting the market dictate to me where we need to go. And this morning, what it was telling me, it was doing just the opposite. The stocks were doing just the opposite. So it was just really, really a crazy morning. But we can look at the daily chart here on the SPY, and we are just, this thing, we've been screaming up. Now, granted, when something is going up like this, you're bound to have a rest day. You're bound to, take a break at some point. But looking at, this is a big time indecision candle. A big time indecision candle. We did not make a higher high today, but we did make a lower low. But the stock practically closed about where it ended. We did close red on the day, but we just didn't make any progress pretty much from where we opened. But you can see this little gap here, we came within $1 of closing this gap. And this red line here, this is the 5-day moving average. And this is really the most aggressive moving average you can have on your daily chart. I typically don't look at these, but in markets like this, it's a good idea to kind of look at that 5-day. And if we ever lose this 5-day, I think we're going to be coming in. Today, we didn't get close to it. But it's going to be interesting tomorrow to see if we open with the gap up. I would expect the market to sell the rest of the day. That's just kind of my expectation or my theory, but I'm not going to hold myself to it. I'm not going to make plans based on it. I'm just, that's my hypothesis, that if we open with a gap up, we're going to sell off. If we kind of open flat, I think we have a good chance of continuing this march up. There's a level here that we did not touch today. Maybe we touch it in the morning and get rejected and sell off the rest of the day. It's between 313, 314 is where this level is. So I'm keeping my eye on that, and just gonna kind of sit on my hands until we figure this out. And that's gonna be my plan going in tomorrow. And you can see today, at the open here, here's the opening range low, this solid red line. This is the 5-minute opening range high. I trade the 5-minute channels. I trade the 5-minute range, basically. I trade the breakouts. I trade the breakdowns. Whenever we're stuck inside the 5-minute opening range, to me, that's no man's land. And unless it's wide enough to really make money, then I'm not going to touch anything in it. And you could see today, I thought we were really going to have a good day because the 5-minute opening candle was tight. We were, what is this? Not even 50 cents. This isn't even a 50-cent window right here. So I thought we were going to be really good, and the stock was going up. And I know we were running into the 200 here, but we had a rise in 20, rise in VWAP, rise in 9. Everything was rising. Even the 200 was rising. So I had every confidence that long was the way to go. And so first trade I took, UAL on the airlines and the casinos and everything, where cruise ships were pretty strong coming into the morning. So I felt pretty confident taking this to the long side. I mean, look at the chart. We were making higher highs right here. We didn't make a lower high. We didn't make a lower low. So I felt pretty good going into the open. So we get this wicked candle right here, but a big bottoming tail. This is giving me every indication that we're set to go long. The market is long. And I get in, I wait for it to break the pre-market high. I get in, and the rug got pulled. And you can see within 2 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes, I was done. Now, if I hadn't have taken it off and I hadn't have stuck to my stop, look at what would have happened to me. I would have got flat blown up. Now, nobody in their right mind is going to hold through a huge move like this and then anticipate it coming all the way back. You just aren't going to do it. But I think I did the right thing here. I waited patiently. I waited for it to claim the opening range high. I could have bought it on the break, but once we get past 10 o'clock, I'm going to wait for a candle to close above it, and I'm going to wait for some confirmation. So this candle got bought up. This one got sold off. In the meantime, they're all making higher lows. So once this candle closed, I could have waited until we broke the high here, but I got in on the break of the high of this candle, and I was going to still use this as my guide. But everything was pushing up, all the moving averages, everything was showing strength. The deviation band was opening up a little bit, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to see. So I got it and was just taking profit along the way, just doing everything I can. The final target for me was going to be 40, because you see I got 300 shares. Well, the first time you see I took 500 shares. This is a $30 stock. I could take 1,000 shares of it if I wanted to, but I went 500 because I was feeling a little confident. I had, based on the last couple of days this week, I was really aggressive this morning, and I can't say it came back to bite me, because even if I was taking 100 shares, I probably would have stopped out of this, the way this thing is sold off. But I wasn't going to be aggressive here. Now, in hindsight, I wish I was, but I was just going to take it back down a notch, because like we were seeing, at the open, the market was showing green, and this thing ended up selling off. So I wasn't taking any chances. But if you look at this closely, you could say that we were forming a flag here. For me, I like to see one more candle. After we make the flagpole, I like to see at least 3 pullback candles forming that flag before we break out. But this one was only 2. But I don't trade flags. I don't trade triangles. I use them just as a piece of evidence, just like I use the moving averages or the RSI or the MACD. All I do is use that or those indicators as guides, just to help me make trading decisions. And so I use those patterns as well. I'm looking for a continuation off of a level. If a pattern is forming, that's just more evidence that is going to give me more confidence in the setup. And that played a big part in this as well. And so we got the break. Again, just started taking profit. As we started coming back, I went ahead and killed it and said, hey, I can always get back in, always. So I got back in here after we established over the 9. We had a little pullback, and I was looking for 39 again. I had a target at 39. We got shut down here around 38.75-ish, and it pulled back in, and it just wasn't doing anything. It really wasn't doing anything. So I'm getting ready to put my stop in just below the low of this candle. That's why I wanted to put my stop, and accidentally stopped out. Sometimes it'll be market, and I know I click stop, but the stop doesn't pop up in the montage. It stays on market, and when I click sell, it automatically sells it. So I need to double check that every time, because the time that I don't check it or I forget to double check it is the time it messes up on me, and that's what happened here. So I was like, well, I might as well wait until this gets back above all the moving averages. And so once it rocketed up like this, I just jumped back in because I wouldn't have been out anyway. But still, I wasn't going to jump back in and buy into all this resistance. Now I was going to wait till we got through it, and if we couldn't hold above it on this candle, I would have just taken it off. But it worked out pretty good. Here we formed another little flag, if you want to call it that, which gave me even more confidence. We were holding the 9, and I just took it off here. I wanted 39, but as you can see, this, it just made perfect sense because we had a double top here. So it made perfect sense to just go ahead and grab it. It couldn't push over it, and so I waited for this candle to close, and here we tried to push over it again. Once we got back to this level, I was going to take it, but eventually it turned around, and we got 39. I put 50 shares out there to just catch 39 because I knew that was a target, and I wanted a piece of it. And so we pulled back, and we actually held this level, held as support, which made me feel even better. But we just had some slow price action through here. Then all of a sudden, we got the big spike right into this 39.78 level. And I had my target right at 39.75. It was 3 cents before the level. It hit that, and then it just came right back down. And I ended up stopping out right on this level again. And right here is where I'm thinking the market's going to sell off going into the close. So I shorted here and still holding this position. I think we're going to get a gap down overnight. So I just hung on to it. And if we don't get a gap down, I'll just have to deal with it. But as it stands right now, I'm in it. I might take it off right before 8 o'clock. I might lose, not have any confidence in it. But, we're still a little early, so I'm going to keep my eye on it. But today, 330.65. Not the best of days, but when you add it up to Tuesday, Wednesday, and now this, we're in really good shape for the week. Tomorrow's going to be a short day for me, so I'm going to try to maximize the morning, the first hour, and see what we can do. I think it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow, but I've got some errands to run, and I always pick Friday because it's usually the slowest day. So you guys have a great night, and I will catch you first thing in the morning.